Recognizing individuals who live Mount Mary's core values of competence, compassion, community, and commitment is a great honor as the president of this esteemed institution. Today, we recognize the achievements of 3 of our most distinguished alumna with the Madonna Medals and the Tower Award, and honor special friends who have supported us through the decades as servant leaders with the President's Award of Distinction. Mount Mary has a dedicated board of trustees, and I'm happy to recognize the trustees who are able to be with us today. They are Sister Janet Abachi, David Jorgensen, Christine Krause, Mary Jo Layton, and Marie O'Brien, who is a 2008 alum. And we'd like to welcome those who are here with us to celebrate our awardees, families and friends, as well as community partners, including the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, United Community Center, and the WCTC Foundation. All this would not be possible without the thoughtful work of the Alumni Awards Committee. And I would like to now introduce Isabelle Maria Piana, class of 1969 and 1993. Isabelle is a past recipient of the Madonna Medal for her service to Mount Mary, and she currently serves as chair of the Alumni Awards Committee. Isabelle?
Thank you. As the chair of the Alumni Awards Committee, I have the pleasure of working with a dedicated group of alumni volunteers who review all the nominations and recommend each year's recipients to the university president. At this time, I'd like to recognize the individual committee members who do so much work behind the scenes to make this celebration so special. Linda Barrington, Beth Kowal, Megan Knichevich, Tina Rosh Prost, Kathy Schneider, Marilyn Wagner. I would also like to thank our Alumni Association President, Sierra Cooper, class of 2011, who oversees the association board and its efforts. Please join me in a round of applause for these ladies. Before we begin with this awards, I would like to take a moment to recognize those who have received these awards in the past. You can find the full list of past recipients on the last 2 pages of your program booklet. With us today, we have the following Madonna Medal recipients: Linda Barrington, Ginny Cornell, Mary Grommans, Mary Ellen Luxem, Christine Moser, Barbara Muth, Marie O'Brien, Joan Stemmer Park, myself, Mick Pietrkowski, Janet Powell, Kathy Schneider, Dr. Eileen Schwalbach, Nancy Sullivan, Marilyn Wagner. And we also have a Tower Award winner, Carla Shaw. Let's give a round of applause for all these extraordinary women. Thank you.
We begin today's awards ceremony with the 2020 Tower Award winner. The Tower Award recognizes the accomplishments of an alumna within 15 years of her graduation. This year's recipient, Lakeisha Russell, received a bachelor's degree in behavioral science and psychology in 2010. In 2013, she attained a master's of science in community counseling. Department Chair Dr. Carrie King and Associate Professor Dr. Tammy Schneidiger nominated Lakeisha, and both cited how incredibly proud they are of the work she is doing in destigmatizing mental health treatment among communities of color. In the words of Dr. Schneidiger, Lakeisha is the face of our graduates, and she embodies the qualities that are positioning her to transform the world. Let's learn a little bit about Lakeisha as we watch this video.
Lakeisha Russell always knew she wanted to be a therapist. Her very first job at the Boys and Girls Club at age 14 inspired her to work with children and families. Even at such a young age, she could see that there was more behind a child's behavior than what met the eye. She wanted to look beyond a child's actions to get to the deeper root causes. And today, with her many years in the fields of social services and counseling, she is doing just that. Lakeisha graduated from Mount Mary University in 2010 with a Bachelor of Arts in Behavioral Science and Psychology. She returned and graduated in 2013 with a Master of Science in Community Counseling. She is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Wisconsin, providing child and family therapy services at Children's Wisconsin. The visionary and founder of the Evolving Chair Counseling and Consulting Agency, Lakeisha focuses on providing services to children and women who have experienced trauma, depression, anxiety, and more. Lakeisha integrates her professional expertise with a strong faith base to bring mental health awareness and access to the African American community in Milwaukee and across the country. A sought-after speaker who's also known as America's #1 mental wellness ambassador, Lakeisha has been seen on NBC, CBS, The Huffington Post, Bustle, and Milwaukee Magazine, to name a few. She is also the host of a wellness podcast titled The Evolving Chair Podcast. She shares a message of hope, emotional wellness, and overcoming fear. The culture of service and community at Mount Mary had a profound impact on Lakeisha. She continues to be community-focused in her practice and her personal life. Through her ongoing efforts, she is destigmatizing the use of mental health services in communities of color and is working tirelessly to lead and mentor other mental health professionals. She also credits Mount Mary with helping her to be confident in who she is. She says, "Mount Mary helped me to be bold and creative so I can leave my mark and impact on this world." Thank you for all of your work in such an important field. Congratulations, Lakeisha, our 2020 Tower Award winner.
Lakeisha, we are so proud of the work you are doing to promote the importance of mental health and to help individuals evolve into the best versions of themselves. It is an honor to recognize you today with the Mount Mary University Tower Award. Congratulations. I think Lakeisha is going to give an acceptance speech.
Yes, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. First, I'm just so overjoyed with so many kind of emotions because the work that I do, I don't do it to get accolades or get awards or credit, just to really help people heal and look at mental health, mental wellness in a different light. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for downloading this passion in me to serve his people in the capacity that I do. I'm so grateful to Carrie Schrader and the whole alumni department and team for working so hard for putting this award ceremony together, especially virtually. As we know, there's been some bumps in the roads with virtual things throughout this pandemic. I would love to thank Dr. Tammy and Dr. King for even seeing me honorable enough to get this award, to acknowledge the work that I am doing in our community and the impact I'm looking to make. I love to thank my kids, Josiah and Janiyah, who motivates me and pushes me to keep going, who's like my little mini helpers at events and things like that. I like to thank my family and my friends for always pushing me, even when I was scared to do something out of the box and not original, like a traditional therapist, but for the love and the support and the encouraging words. And I just like to thank the community for allowing me to be creative and bold and make my mark and impact, just again to have those conversations about mental health and mental wellness and the capacity that we're able to do it in a non-traditional way. And I'd like to thank Mount Mary for helping just develop that within me to be bold in who I am as a woman in this world, to just make my mark and impact. Again, Mount Mary is a great school, so if anybody is looking for a college, Mount Mary is great for that. But I just want to thank everybody, and I'm not gonna say too much more because I'm a big crybaby and I don't want to cry today. So again, I'm just so grateful to be the 2020 Tower Award recipient on today. Thank you.
I want to invite everybody to unmute yourselves now so that we can make some noise for this outstanding woman.
Cute.
Thank you, everybody, and congratulations. We're very proud of you. The Madonna Medals represent the highest honor bestowed upon a graduate at Mount Mary University. By the Mount Mary University and the Alumni Association. So these awards are presented to alumni who demonstrate a long-standing commitment to their profession, volunteerism, or service to the association or the university. 2020 marked the 60th anniversary of the Madonna Medal. In 1960, Sister Jacqueline Buckley was in charge of alumni relations, and she wanted a way to recognize those alumni who were making a difference in the world. I'd like to recognize Sister Jacqueline, who's with us today, and thank her for beginning what has become a treasured and long-standing tradition for Mount Mary. Thank you, Sister Jacqueline. Let's give her a round of applause too. Our first Madonna Medal is for professional excellence and goes to Perry Longo with the class of 1962. Perry Longo is an amazing woman who is an accomplished poet, a licensed marriage and family therapist, and a registered poetry therapist. After teaching high school English and communication at the university level, she began her career teaching poetry to children in grades K through 12 through the California Poets in the Schools program. During this time, she pursued a degree in psychology. Perry has a private therapy practice while working at the hospice of Santa Barbara and the sanctuary centers. She believes everyone is a poet. Perry has created her own career path, which has allowed her to pursue her personal passion of poetry, but also help others find their voice in speaking as well as writing through poetry. Let's take a closer look at Perry Longo.
As Perry Longo reflects on her life and career, she sees the thread that has woven it all together. From her interest in writing and drama at a young age, to her choice of Mount Mary University, to her move to California after graduation, she can now see how all of these things culminated in a rich life and a long career in teaching and therapy with an emphasis on poetry therapy. Perry graduated from Mount Mary University in 1962 with a Bachelor of Art in English and Drama and a minor in Education. She went on to receive her Master's in Speech and Communication from UCLA and eventually earned a PhD in Clinical Psychology from Sierra University in 1991. After teaching in Los Angeles high schools for a few years and later at UCLA, Perry met and married her husband Phil, a widower with 2 young sons. They subsequently moved to Santa Barbara. It was there that she began to pursue her love of poetry on a deeper level after the births of her son Dana and daughter Cecily. In 1982, she attended her first Santa Barbara Writers Conference and received the Santa Barbara National Writers Award. 2 short years later, she was invited to lead poetry workshops at the conference and has been doing it ever since. Perry has written and published 4 books of poetry and was named Poet Laureate of Santa Barbara, California in 2007. While working at the Santa Barbara Writers Conference, Perry discovered the field of poetry therapy and soon after became a registered poetry therapist. For the next 30 years, Perry would follow her passion and use her skills to help children find their voices by bringing poetry into the Santa Barbara K-12 classrooms with the California Poets in the Schools program, as well as facilitating workshops privately to teach poetry to adults. In 2011, Perry received the Woman of Achievement Award from the Association of Women in Communication Santa Barbara chapter. Other awards include the Outstanding Achievement Award from the National Association of Poetry Therapy, along with their Distinguished Service Award and their Pioneer Award. Perry currently works as a licensed marriage and family therapist in private practice. The death of her husband in 2001 led her to her work at Hospice of Santa Barbara and Sanctuary Psychiatric Centers, where she helps people process difficult emotions through writing. Perry is a longtime member of the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation, where she serves on the board of directors and is chair of the foundation's poetry committee. She also especially enjoys speaking about her 3 beautiful grandchildren. Perry says of her time at Mount Mary, "It taught me kindness and compassion and reinforced the idea of service to others." As a shy young woman, her experiences at Mount Mary pushed her out of her comfort zone and taught her to follow her intuition, which has led her to amazing experiences. One was to be invited to the University of Kuwait in 2005 to give a talk on poetry as a pathway to peace. Thank you for helping so many find their voice through poetry and writing. Congratulations, Perry, our 2020 Madonna Medal winner for professional excellence.
Perry, by sharing your amazing gift of poetry, you have taught others how to use their creative voice to find peace and strength. Perry, it is my great honor to present you with the Madonna Medal for professional excellence. And you may now give your acceptance speech.
Good morning, everyone. And Dr. Farr, thank you so much for this award, which absolutely blows me away, which I think all of us have expressed. I'm so impressed with the video, I can hardly stand it. I mean, I just sent some things and they found other things. So I was very entertained by all of that. I also want to thank Isabelle Maria Piana, the Alumni Relations team, and especially Carrie Schrader for her support and warm outreach all these months. And I want to thank Mary Grammons, a previous Madonna Award recipient, who I understand is here today. We were in a Brownie troop together and flew up to Girl Scouts holding hands. We've known each other from the beginning. Hi, Mary. You know, to accomplish anything, we need others to believe in us. And I'm very grateful for the loving support of my incredible family, my sisters and brothers, my son Dana and his wife Rain, my daughter Cecily, my stepson Paul, and my husband Phil, and all who showed me constant love, patience, and the thrill of taking chances. I honor many teachers here at Mount Mary for their encouragement in writing and drama. And I was taught to be bold, as Lakeisha has said, and we all say, and to take charge of my life. You know, I think we were feminists before the word was invented here at Mount Mary. And, you know, that was 60 years ago. So that's quite a while. And I thank my parents who said, do what you love, but make sure you get a license in something so you have something to fall back on if writing and acting don't work out. Well, I've fallen back on a lot of different things over the years. And I couldn't help but look back at the long life I've led. And I can't believe it's been 60 years almost since I left Mount Mary. And I think about other things that have influenced my life, like the Vietnam War when I was at UCLA, and the peace movement and the women's movement and 9/11, as well as many personal challenges. And now we're in the time of social justice, which Mount Mary has always addressed, and today more so than ever, which makes me really proud to be a graduate of Mount Mary. Some years ago, I read a poem by the much loved William Stafford, Poet Laureate of Oregon, who died in 1963, but happened to come to Santa Barbara 3 months beforehand and give a talk at the University of Santa Barbara. And I was lucky enough to be in a workshop that he also taught to a group of poets. And I came across this poem he wrote, which has really led me through my life. And I'd like to share it in part with you. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die and suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. You know, when I was 7, I was riding in the back seat of our old Chevy, chugging up the Rocky Mountains with my family. And my father, who was born and raised in Colorado, said, "Just look at those mountains. I think they're God's necklace." And I thought that was the most beautiful thing I ever heard. And I think I got a pencil and wrote it down. And some years later, started writing poetry. Much later, I learned about metaphor and experienced how the language of poetry helps us understand ourselves more deeply and connects us with others with compassion and hope. We all witnessed listening to Amanda Gorman's poem, which she recited for President Biden's inauguration, "The Hill We Climb." And she talked about moving toward the light, quote, "if we are brave enough to see it, if we're brave enough to be it." Teaching poetry to children gave me that kind of light, which led me to psychology, which led me to poetry therapy, and helping others, include myself, find my voice. I've received far more than I've been given. Deeply appreciative to all those who make up life's long thread and continues to bless me each day. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Perry. And at this time, I'd like to once again ask everyone to unmute themselves on your screen and make some noise for this amazing woman. All right, thank you, everyone, and congratulations, Perry. It is now my pleasure to introduce Beth Kowal, who is receiving a Madonna Medal for her service to the Alumni Association. For 38 years, Beth has served as the class delegate for her graduating class of 1974. In this role, she continues to keep her classmates informed and connected to the university. In addition, Beth has served in a number of leadership roles on the Alumni Association board and is an active committee member. Beth is always willing to help whenever, and she always does it with a great attitude and a smile. Her peers describe her as having a passion for volunteering and says she often offers to help even before being asked. In addition to her work with alumni, Beth frequently supports students in the occupational therapy department. Students cite that Beth's contributions have helped prepare them for the person-centered aspects of clinical work. Dr. Carrie Inda, chair of the occupational therapy department, says, quote, "Beth is an exceptional example of a member of the Mount Mary community who gives her time and service creatively, willing to collaborate with the department to promote valuable learning experiences," unquote. Let's learn a bit more about Beth as we watch this video.
Beth Kowal has been an active member of the Mount Mary Alumni Association for nearly 40 years. Coming to Mount Mary in 1970, she spent 4 wonderful years studying, developing lifelong friendships, and gaining a sense of self-assuredness and confidence. She felt she was always treated as an individual at Mount Mary, never as just a number. She loved the sense of community and has many fond memories of her involvement with numerous clubs, organizations, student government, and campus activities while a student. From a young age, Beth knew that when she went to college, she wanted to be an occupational therapist. Due to health issues as a child, she knew firsthand the difference an occupational therapist could make in someone's life. She received her Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy from Mount Mary University in 1974 and went on to complete a Master of Science in Educational Psychology from the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee in 1987. In 1985, Beth was one of the original members of the Post-Polio Resource Group of Southeastern Wisconsin. She held many executive board positions in the organization and today is the Executive Board Secretary. She also uses her unique experience as both a therapist and a client to volunteer in Mount Mary's occupational therapy classes. In addition to her work in the OT department, Beth has been a member of both the Mount Mary Awards Committee and the Starving Artist Show for 11 years. For the past 16 years, Beth has also volunteered for the biannual Alumni Popcorn Day, and for the past 32 years, she has acted as the co-class delegate for the class of 1974. Beth has also assisted with commencement activities and held Alumni Association board positions. She has received numerous awards, most recently the Outstanding Alumni Volunteer Award from the Mount Mary University Alumni Association and the Evelyn and Al Paddock Memorial Award for Volunteer of the Year from the Post-Polio Resource Group of Southeastern Wisconsin in 2010. Thank you for your many years of service to Mount Mary and the community. Congratulations, Beth, our 2020 Madonna Medal winner for service to the Alumni Association.
Beth, we are sincerely grateful for your many years of service to Mount Mary, which has touched the lives of so many students and alumni. Connecting classmates to one another and to the university, as well as sharing your experience with OT students, is really priceless. It is my greatest pleasure, Beth, to present you with the Madonna Medal for service to the Alumni Association. And now you may give your acceptance speech.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, getting used to all this technology. Oh, okay. I was very humbled and honored when I was informed that I was going to be the recipient of the prestigious Madonna Medal. To be in the same company of all the past medalists is truly amazing. They are my mentors and my role models, and they exemplify the dedication and commitment of Mount Mary's graduates. I want to thank Isabelle and her committee for all their hard work and diligence. I want to thank my nominator, Marilyn Wagner, for her faith in me and her thoroughness in putting the portfolio together. And just on a special note, I want to send a special good wishes and my prayers to Marilyn and her family at this time, during this difficult time. I also want to thank all of you who wrote additional supporting letters for my nomination. A special thank you to my mom, my family and friends that are joining us today, to my parents who have been a constant source of love and encouragement throughout my life, especially during those difficult early years. I know my dad is looking down from heaven, and I know he's smiling. And thank you, Dad, for going to all those father-daughter dances. And you don't dance, but you did it for me. Thank you, Dad. Thank you to Carrie and Emily in the Alum Relations Office for all your never-ending guidance and support. And I want to thank the faculty in the Occupational Therapy Department. They are my mentors and instilled in me a strong foundation for my professional life. And last but not least, a shout out to the class of 1974. We traveled long 4-year journey together. We laughed, we cried, oh, we did some partying too, but we had a good time together and it created many lifelong friendships. And I thank you. As I reflect on this award, it's been easy for me to say yes to alum activities and committees. Working alongside fellow alums and interacting with students has given me a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Being at a smaller university, we had a very welcoming and supportive learning environment to grow and to flourish. We were encouraged to develop to our full potential personally and professionally. As I continue to volunteer for association activities, I carry with me the principles and the foundations set by the universities and the SSNDs, some of which are integrity, leadership, and the core values of competence, community, compassion, and commitment. During these last 47 years since graduation, it has helped shape who I am today, and it has led me to want to give back to the university with pride and dedication. So I want to thank you all, and I thank you for putting together that conglomeration of pictures. It was great. I want to God bless you all. I know that I am truly blessed. Thank you.
So now, once again, I invite everyone to unmute yourselves so we can make some noise for this outstanding woman. Yay!
Hey, Beth.
Oh, my Lord.
Go Beth.
Thank you, everyone, and congratulations, Beth. So now, the President's Award of Distinction. The President's Award of Distinction represents the university's highest honor bestowed upon an individual or organization who has made a significant impact on our mission to transform the lives of students. This video will show how very special Judy and Gary Jorgensen truly are, and just a small sampling of the impact that they have had not only on Mount Mary, but the greater community as well.
Gary and Judy Jorgensen have called Milwaukee home for almost 50 years. After meeting at Cornell College, they moved to Milwaukee in 1973, where they dedicated their lives to making the greater Milwaukee area a better place. Gary became an owner of what is now VJS Construction Services in 1976. In his over 40 years with the company, Gary has been involved in hundreds of construction projects around Milwaukee. Early on in his career, he began to build a relationship with Mount Mary University and hoped to one day collaborate on a project. In 1987, he joined the Mount Mary Board of Trustees and today remains on the board as a trustee emeritus. Gary and VJS were thrilled to partner with us for the construction of Mount Mary's Gerhardinger Center and the Blackwell Center. Today, Gary is excited to be involved with one of Mount Mary's newest ventures, Trinity Woods. In addition to his contributions to Mount Mary University, Gary has been involved in many organizations, including the Sharon Lynn Wilson Center for the Arts, Journey House, and Neighborhood House. He has received numerous awards throughout his life, including the Associated General Contractors of Greater Milwaukee Pioneer Award, as well as their Skill, Integrity, Responsibility Award. In 2016, Gary also received the Greater Milwaukee Foundation's Kirkpatrick Award. Judy spent 25 years building her career at Waukesha County Technical College and retired in 2001 as Dean of Academic Support. She spent her time at WCTC working with at-risk students. One of her greatest joys was seeing the graduation of the students she had helped. Judy established the college's first career center, launched a program to prepare adults for occupational training, and developed a faculty mentor program. She also developed a nationally recognized School to Work program, a summer career exploration program for minority youth, and a diploma program used by all district high schools for at-risk students. Judy's community involvement has been widespread with organizations such as the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, YMCA at Pabst Farms, 10 Chimneys Foundation, and the Waukesha County Technical College Foundation. In 2008, Judy was recognized by the Southeastern Wisconsin chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals. And in 2011, the Milwaukee Business Journal named her a Woman of Influence. Together, Gary and Judy are bringing their legacy of giving back to the next generation through the Jorgensen Family Fund at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. As each of their grandchildren reaches age 12, he or she is invited to help recommend grants from the fund. Gary and Judy are thrilled to be involved with the planning and construction of the multi-generational living facility, Trinity Woods. Judy is especially looking forward to her work on the Book Nook project. She can't wait to see one of the school sisters of Notre Dame spending time in the book nook reading to a child. Thank you for your years of dedication and service to Mount Mary. Congratulations, Gary and Judy, our 2020 President's Award of Distinction recipients.
What a lovely video. It certainly begins to capture the magic that is Judy and Gary Jorgensen. I was blessed that Judy and Gary were some of the first people that my husband and I met when we moved to Milwaukee. They were not only gracious hosts to us, but also very supportive of me and my new role as president. And I quickly learned how insightful and influential they are. Gary has served on the Board of Trustees for many years, including as board chair and now as trustee emeritus. Gary's understanding of the buildings and grounds and the workings of Mount Mary is extensive, and he is a reliable source of history and information that I can always count on. He and Judy are both personally supportive of Mount Mary's mission and appreciative of the impact that we have on our students and the community. Judy has been a staunch advocate for our students, as recently witnessed in her leadership in bringing intergenerational experiences to Trinity Woods through promotion and funding of children and senior SS&D reading nooks in the town center. There is a long history of nonprofits where Judy and Gary have served or led initiatives that have impacted literally thousands of community members of all ages and backgrounds. Judy is a connector of people, and that results in making things happen. And Gary is a quiet, wise leader. They both get things done. I would be remiss if I didn't mention their generous financial support of Mount Mary and many other organizations for decades. Their generous spirits have consistently led to sharing some of their blessings with others and is a shining example to all. Particularly impressive is their commitment to teaching the importance of philanthropy to their children and grandchildren. Their grandchildren are the decision makers in how a family fund at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation is distributed. What a wonderful testament to not only making a difference now, but through their family for generations to come. I am personally and professionally so very grateful for Judy and Gary. I feel blessed to call them my friends. To commemorate this occasion, we have compiled a book of testimonials from a sampling of the many organizations that they have positively impacted. The heartfelt thoughts of many are shared with you, Judy and Gary, today, as something you can reflect on in the days and the years ahead. It is with much admiration and appreciation that we bestow the Mount Mary President's Award to Judy and Gary Jorgensen. Congratulations. You may now give your acceptance speech.
Thank you so much. I tell you that that video just really gets to me, and it's been just a pleasure. I have no idea who that dark-haired woman is on the picture that you're showing, but it was my true color, but it's gone. Oh boy, is it gone. You know, I think I owe this year a special sense of gratitude to Mount Mary. Some of you know maybe that I was really, really sick with COVID, and they told me I was going to die. And Christine put out a what, I don't know, doctrine to all the sisters of the order, even overseas, and said, pray for this woman, she needs you. I could feel that, and it happened. I'm alive, I'm not dead, and I feel so much better. The honor you have bestowed on us, Christine, and you were so excited to do it at dinner one night. Tell us about it. Is beyond anything we can imagine. We thank you so much. And I am so looking forward to the opening of the new Living Center and the book nooks. Isn't that going to be fun? I have this mental picture of retired nuns walking into the building and seeing a child and his very tired, worn out mom, and saying to the mom, would it be okay if I read a story to whoever, Johnny, and I'll bring him up to you when we're done, and you can go take a nap or do some laundry or do some homework. I can't wait for that to happen. That just excites me incredibly. So I thank you. You're going to hear stories from Mr. Jorgensen. We could go on all day, but thank you. This is such a blessing, and we really appreciate it.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be with each and every one of you. And the stories we've heard before us for those award winners is just tremendous, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Over the past 30 years plus, Judy and I have just had such a joy in meeting so many people, wonderful, intelligent individuals through Mount Mary. And these are people that we would not have met if it hadn't been through Mount Mary. And so through this opportunity, we've met, first of all, I had the opportunity working with 7 different presidents at Mount Mary. That's how long I've been there, so it's a long time. But each and every one of them was so enjoyable to work with, and just a real joy. Secondly, we met so many different men and women that were on the board of trustees, and they've come and gone, but we've gotten so many wonderful friendships through that, and we still have a lot of friendships, and that's been a real joy that, once again, we gained through Mount Mary. And thirdly, I enjoy working with so many of the sisters, the ones who were on the board, but also the ones who were on the staff. And I would have never met any of these people either, so that was a real pleasure. One of the sisters that I spent a lot of time with was Sister Ruth Hollenbach. She, of course, is one of the presidents, but along with that, she was one of the chair persons that was involved with the Gerhardinger Science Building. So she asked me one day if I would be able to help her do the planning of the building and make some big decisions along, of course, with the rest of the committee, which I was very happy to do. Well, the biggest decision we made on that particular job, I thought, was we decided to put stone on the exterior of the building instead of the normal face brick that so many people were going to. We wanted to keep the building look the same as the balance of the buildings over there, and I'll make it blend in. And so we were willing to spend the extra money for that, her sister was. So the day of the ribbon cutting ceremony, a taxi cab pulls up, and this woman gets out of the taxi cab, and we're all sitting there waiting for the festivities to start. And she says, "Well, where is this building?" And we were standing right next to it. And she said, "I'm an alum, and I haven't been here for 25 years, and I don't know where the building is." So we were very happy to say, "Well, you're standing right in front of it." And she just couldn't believe it. So sister and I kind of looked at one another and said, well, the job was what we exactly wanted to have accomplished. In regards to the Board of Trustees, one of the meetings we happened to have, our board chairman had asked that we were going to take a little tour and go over look at the old gymnasium. And so the board went over to the gym, and they happened to have a volleyball game going on. And we were here watching the students play, and we could see that the one who was serving the ball had to actually come out of the door frame to serve the ball because the gym was so small. So after that, we walked back to the meeting, and I happened to be standing next to Dick Blackwell. And Dick Blackwell was one of the board members. His wife was a graduate, and he was also on the Buildings and Grounds Committee. He said, "You know, my wife and I were planning on giving a major gift to Mount Mary, and we're trying to figure out what to do. I think I just got the answer. We need a new gymnasium at Mount Mary." So he said, "Will you help me put that together? And let's get Sister Marilyn Kessler, get her involved with the development team. And then you have to go and build that at the most economical price you can." And that's how the gymnasium was born at Mount Mary. One of the most wonderful evenings that Judy and I had during the years happened to be, just by coincidence, be during the time that I was the chairman of the board. And that really didn't have anything to do with it because it just was on a timing basis. But Eileen Schwalbach was our president at the time, and she just did a tremendous job. I just loved working with her on a day-to-day basis, and it was so much fun, and we got a lot accomplished. But at that particular time, two things were happening. First of all, the 100th anniversary of Mount Mary came upon us. And secondly, Mount Mary College was being considered to be changed to Mount Mary University. So we're meeting with the sisters practically daily there for a while to see whether we should make that change, and obviously we did. So we decided we had to have a party to make that celebration. So we invited a lot of them, or all the Mount Mary friends and the staff and so forth, and had a big party. And the committee invited a woman by the name of Billy Aaron to be our main speaker. And Billy Aaron was heavily involved with education. Well, Billy Aaron happened to be the wife of Hank Aaron, the famous baseball player. So we said, well, Billy, we'd like to have you bring your husband along if it's at all possible. We know he's has a busy schedule, but we'd love to have him here. And doggone if he didn't come. So during the dinner hour, Judy and I, and along with the committee, had a very nice dinner with the two of them and had a nice chat. And then Billy got up and gave her speech. And she got all done. She said, well, by the way, my husband is here, because a lot of people didn't even know it. She said, would you like him to come up and tell a few stories? And of course, everybody just stood and cheered and everything else. So Hank got up there and told some wonderful, great stories about baseball and his history and so forth. And the night was just a huge success. In closing, I just wanted to tell you, I think the best day of the year at Mount Mary, in my opinion, is graduation day. And of course, the graduation in the spring is held at the Blackwell gymnasium. So the board gets to go in and sit right close to the stage. And so we get to watch the students walk across the stage and pick up their diploma from the president of the college. And of course, we get to see these great big smiles on their face. And most of the time when they're getting their diploma, there'll be a few people that are friends and relatives stand up in the middle of the gymnasium and cheer like crazy for their student. And that's what Mount Mary is all about. It's for the students. And you know, these students have worked real hard to get that diploma, and now they're going on to the next step in their life. And it's because of all the work that you and so many other people do at Mount Mary. So I thank you, because it's all about the students. So in closing, I just like to say thank you so much for this wonderful award. It means so much to Judy and myself and my family. And also, I want to thank Dr. Farr for all the great work she has done. She's been such a wonderful addition to the campus, and she's just really working hard. She seems like she's working all the time. She's answering emails at 11 o'clock at night, and you name it. And also, I want to thank the staff and all the volunteers that were involved in today's activities, because I know it was an awful lot of work. So thank you all for everybody, for everything. Amen. Bye-bye.
Amen. Thank you so much, Judy and Gary. I'm so happy to call you friends. You have just been absolutely wonderful to me and to Mount Mary. And now I want to invite everybody once again to unmute themselves so they can make some noise for this outstanding couple. So I just want to thank everyone and Judy and Gary for all that you've done and will continue to do for Mount Mary. What a wonderful celebration. At this time, I'd like to propose a toast in honor of all the award winners. So please take your champagne flutes and pour yourself a glass of sparkling cider. So here's mine. Has everybody got some? Okay, so let's raise our glasses to the alumni for the work they are doing to transform their communities, their professions, and the lives of others. It is a true testament to the value of a Mount Mary education and a tribute to the School Sisters of Notre Dame, our founders, and continued inspiration today. To Gary and Judy Jorgensen for their belief in the Mount Mary mission and your tremendous contributions to both the university and the greater Milwaukee community. And to all of you who celebrate with us today, these remarkable individuals who embody the Mount Mary spirit. Cheers. Congratulations again to today's award recipients, and thank you to the alumni and donor relations team for making today so very special. I want to do a particular shout out to Carrie Schroeder and Emily, because what a great job they have done. Should we give them a round of applause too? Thank you all so much. This concludes our program today. Please stay safe, and we look forward to the days ahead when we can be together in person. God bless and have a wonderful day.